In case you missed it, the news wrote, new updates are happening in Tupac Shakur's case. Rappers in the industry from Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, and Diddy are about to be arrested and questioned as fans believe Snoop Dogg is responsible for Tupac's death after new evidence was found. It begins with this interview making the feds wonder Snoop's involvement as he had a lot to share.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
As Snoop mentions, he was supposed to be in the BMW, but after last-minute changes, he didn't go, leaving Tupac and Suge Knight all by themselves. This was likely due to Snoop, Tupac, and Suge having an altercation only a day prior.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
With all of this happening within 48 hours of Tupac's murder, the police were suspicious. 2 decades ago, Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets. Many speculate Snoop could have received a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted on that night, so he avoided getting in the car. The feds then found another interview where Snoop claims that 2 days before Tupac died, he felt like Tupac hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me. Why? Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave them. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with it. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
However, the physical evidence shared during the Diddy trial gave the courtroom the chills, as Keefe D explained how Tupac was taken out by Diddy's wish, meaning this could have been bigger than just Snoop Dogg. The whole rap industry could have been a part of it, as in case you missed it, the news wrote, former LAPD cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Suge retaliated, then having Biggie dealt with, as Diddy hired Keefe D to go get Tupac. Then after 15 years of walking free, when the police finally arrested him, he did an interrogation, but he didn't know he was being recorded when confessing Diddy was the lead man of the crime.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them, either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah,
where the police then began to wonder, did many in the rap industry needed Tupac gone in order to help them boost their own rap careers? As the news would then write during the Diddy trial, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's murder after being mentioned 77 times in the new legal filing. As Keefe D, the hired hitman of the crime, said that everything was Diddy's wish. He even explained how it happened so fast, which started with Tupac reaching for his firearm when he passed away.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
As the saddest part is, Tupac knew that something was going to go down in the middle of the street. He had nowhere to go, and the only way of defending himself was getting his firearm out first. This would end up hitting news outlets fast, as 50 Cent would be performing a local concert where he would even expose Diddy, saying that he doesn't like him because he had Tupac gone.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they let me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that. I've been talking to a therapist to try to help me with what I'm saying. I said crazy for no reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
As this would then end up lead into a viral clip going around of the time that Diddy was confronted about being responsible for Tupac, such as this awkward interview with The Breakfast Club.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
But what's even scarier is investigators use new technology to find evidence in Tupac's murder, and let me explain. As on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label named Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, as after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby of the hotel.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security would end up breaking up the altercation between the two. Tupac, Suge, and the ops would end up all leaving the scene, with Tupac and Suge going back to their hotel to now having to change their clothes. The two would then head off to a club to go party it up. At around 11 p.m., the two were driving through the strip of Las Vegas, where things would go down right in the middle of the street.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
The aftermath of the incident was a mystery for over a decade. The police then investigated a concerning interview by a man named Keefe D on DJ Vlad's show, and they had their first lead, as this interview had details of Keefe D literally sharing the moments of finding Tupac and pulling up on him.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
To then later in Keefe D's interrogation on the night of the crime, this was never before even shared. However, he had to share confirmation that he was actually a part of Tupac's murder, as DJ Vlad allegedly didn't believe him.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In
of
the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside their car?
Jumping in. I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando started across Dre.
He leaned over On the window, you roll down the window.
Even during the police's investigation, they also found Keefe D's actual reaction to Tupac passing away.
Yeah, 'cause I hate that happened, dog. You know, I really do, man. 'Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate to get that. Call it God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. It never happened, dude.
However, this is where the murder files get very weird. It also has many holes in the story, which makes it sound like Tupac is still alive, and let me explain. One interview from an officer revealed that Tupac was an industry plant with a job of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this gangster type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
Then with the plan obviously not working, he suddenly passed away. It also would make sense as to why Snoop Dogg didn't want to be near him in Las Vegas if he turned out to be working with the feds. But this thread would also break down even more evidence that relates to Tupac still being alive. I couldn't believe it, but in a 2010 interview, there's a rapper named Tretch, where he would end up revealing they were very close friends back in the day. They even worked on a few albums together, but here's where it gets weird. After Tretch's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording. He placed his camera onto the ground, and in the footage, you can hear the interviewer asking Tretch about Tupac, to which he responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Then just 3 weeks later, a video would be released onto a news website showing a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot inside of Cuba.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This is what originally created the theory that Tupac is still alive in Cuba. It's also the biggest theory ever created. However, now it's not looking like a theory anymore, because Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive and living well. He has said so in so many interviews over the last 2 decades now, but one particular interview makes a convincing case that he is still here. Tupac was allegedly doing fine in the hospital when Tupac went to go see him. He would say, and I quote, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
But what's weird about this is that Tupac was supposedly in a coma when arriving to the hospital. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? It doesn't seem to add up. However, in a 2008 interview, 10 years apart, Suge said the exact same thing, that Tupac is alive and well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
However, after the 2008 interview, Suge stopped talking about Tupac for quite a while. This is because only a week after that interview, he almost lost his life in a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. Suge Knight knew immediately it was due to him talking about Tupac, so he didn't tell the police anything.